Hello, my JHS 2 students. How are you all doing today? We thank God for another week, and we thank God that you are all alive and you are healthy and strong. So what am I doing today? We are going to revise, or we are going to solve the questions I put on the page. So I put an image of some past questions and simple interest on the page. So I want you to click on that image and open it with me as I solve the questions under them. And as I'm solving, to take your pens and your paper and write down whatever I am doing. Okay, so I'm going to pick the questions as random because there are a lot of questions and we cannot solve all at once. So I'm just going to pick one or two questions so that we solve. Let me pick the first question. Now before that, let me talk about simple interest again. Now, simple interest is very simple, okay? It is as simple as you are doing business, okay? And you go and borrow money from somebody. That is what we do in business. When I have 500 Ghana cedis, and you come and borrow 500 Ghana cedis from me, I cannot give you the 500 Ghana cedis and tell you that after 4 years, come and give me back or pay back the same 500 cedis. That is not business. You understand? Even after 5 years or after the 4 years, the 500 cedis is going to depreciate. There are some monies that have worth, like for example, now if I have 500 cedis, it can buy a lot of things. But in 4 years' time, the value of 500 cedis will depreciate in the sense that it will not be able to buy as much things as I had it or as I used it to buy. I bought things with it 4 years ago. So as a business-minded person, when you lend somebody money, you tell the person that after a year or two, if you are paying back the money and you are not giving me back the 500 Ghana cedis, you are giving me a percentage on that. So what you are paying on that money is what we call interest. So I tell you that after five years, the 500 cedis, you pay 100 Ghana cedis on it. So instead of you bringing me back 500 cedis, you bring me back what? 600 cedis at the end of the 2 years. That is just as simple as it is. And also note that there is no way that the interest on a money borrowed will be more than the money borrowed. It doesn't work that way. Think about it. If somebody says that you are borrowing 50 Ghana cedis from a friend, and the friend tells you that what you are paying at the end of the week, you are bringing me 100 Ghana cedis plus the 50 Ghana cedis you borrowed. Is that business? It doesn't make sense. Does it make sense? No. So anytime the money you borrowed will definitely be more than the interest you are paying on the money. So if you have a question and you see 500 Ghana cedis and you see 200 Ghana cedis, know that the 500 Ghana cedis is the money the person borrowed and the interest is the 200 Ghana cedis. Okay, so let's go to the question. The first question is, find the simple interest of 28,000 cedis at 3.5% per annum for 6 months. So this is how we solve the question. First of all, you write your formula. Your formula is for simple interest is equal to principal times rate times time all over 100. Okay, now what is the principal in the question? The principal in the question is what? 28,000 cedis. So let me write it here. So B is equal to what? 28,000. I'm writing it down here before I put it in the formula. It's not Ghana cedi. This is the old currency because this question is old question. So it was in 90s. It was in 90s. That is why they were still using the cedis. And what is the rate in the question? The rate is what? 3.5%. That is the rate. The rate is mostly in the percentage. And what is the time? The time is what? 6 months. Okay. And what else do we have to find? So this is what we have. Now, note here, the time in simple interest, is always in years. Do you understand what I'm saying? The time in simple interest is always in years. So when they give you something in months, you have to change it into years. I hope you understand. you have to change it into years. And this one to easily work with it, you can change it into an improper fraction or change it into what? A decimal. Okay, so let's change this into a improper fraction first. So this one is what? 7/2, right? And 7/2, we are going to have what? 3.5 as a decimal. And if you convert 6 months into years too, we are going to have what? 0.5 years. So this is to those who came here and said they didn't understand some of the questions. I'm solving it. So take your books and make sure you follow everything that I'm doing. First of all, you can change the rate percentage into what? Improper fraction, and finally change it into decimals. And also with the time, you do not work in months. You have to change whether they're giving it to you in months, in years. Okay, so that is what we do. Okay, so now after I have changed, this into my years, now I can come and put it in the formula. Now, this quickly to remind you, if what do we say, 1 year is equal to what? 12 months, right? I'm changing this to know how you got the 0.5. Then how many years will give us what? 6 months. All right, what are we finding here? We are finding what? Less, so the more we divide. So you have 6 months over 12 months times the what? The 1 year. Month will cancel month, and this one will give us what? 0.5 years. So those who don't know how I came back the 0.5, that is it for you. Okay, now because of time, we have to do this quickly. Now, after I've gotten all these, then I come and put it in my formula. So what is my principal? 28,000. What is my rate? I've changed it into what? Decimals. 3.5. And what is my time? 0.5. And all this is over what? 100. Okay. Now, my answer is what? 490 cedis. This is my final answer. Okay, so as I started by telling you, it would never make sense that the money you have borrowed from somebody, you are going to pay more than the money you have borrowed. That is not how interest works. So you can see that the man borrowed what? 28,000 Ghana cedis, but at the end of the 6 months, he added what? 490 Ghana cedis to it. So if he's paying back the money to the person he borrowed from, it's going to be what? The 28,000 plus the what? The 490 Ghana cedis. Quickly, the next question. Okay, so number 2, Mr. Yevu, is also simple interest question. I'll leave that for you. Now let's see number 3. In how many years will 5,000 cedis yield a simple interest of 1,000 Ghana cedis at a rate of 5% per annum? Now this is what I was telling you on the last day. That what is our principal? So the formula always P times rate times time all over what? 100. Let's put down what it is. So principal in the question is what? 5,000 cedis. Interest is what? The interest is 1,000 cedis. 1,000 cedis. What is the rate? The rate is what they normally give you in percentages. The rate is what? 5%. The rate is what they give you in percentages. The rate is 5%. What are we finding? Time, right? You are finding time. Do you remember what I told you? If you are finding time, you have to make time the subject of the equation. So this is how we do it. Interest is equal to what? P times R times T over what? 100. Cross multiply. Interest times 100 is equal to what? P R T. Which one do we want to start on its own? It is the time. So divide through by PR. You divide through here by what? P times R. PR is the same as P times R. So this one cancels this one cancels this one. The formula for time is what? Interest times 100 all over what? Principal times rate. What is the interest? So you come here and check it. 1,000 cedis. Your 100 is constant. What is our principal? 5,000 Ghana cedis. What is our rate? 5%. This is to remind you again. Your interest cannot be more than your principal. So if you don't even understand the question, you don't even know which one is the interest, always think about it that there is no way my interest can be more than my principal. Okay, so we cancel 2, and our answer is what? 4 years. The cancellation, I'm leaving it for you because if I say I'm going to cancel 2, we are not finishing today. So time is always in what? Years, as I told you. So your answer is what? 4 years. Okay, quickly. Next question. Okay, next question. The next question is, let me pick number 7. A man deposited an amount of money in his savings account for 5 years. A man deposited. The money the man deposited is what? It's called the principal. Do they give us the principal? No. Now, a man deposited an amount of money in his savings account for 5 years. They have given us the time, haven't they? The time is what? 5 years. The rate of interest, don't we know rate is always in percentages? We do. So rate 14%. And if the interest was 35,000, they have given us interest as what? 35,000. Your question is what? Find the amount you deposited. So we are finding the principal. So when we are finding principal, principal is going to be made the subject, right? So we have interest times 100. Then we have what? P times R times T. Principal has to stand on this one, so you divide through by R over T, and divide through by what? R over T. So this one goes here, this one goes here. So principal is equal to what? Interest times 100 all over R times T. Okay, now let's put our information in there. So what is our interest? Our interest is what we have as what? 35,000 times our 100. What is our rate? Our rate in the question is what? 14. What is our time? Our time in the question is 5 years. What is our answer? 50,000 cedis. Now do you see? 50,000 cedis he borrowed, and the interest he paid is 35,000 cedis. So that means that what? His money he borrowed is more than the interest he's paying. Okay. Okay. Let's continue. What question am I picking next? Let me pick question 8. So move to question 8 on your phones. Now, the simple interest of 37,500 is earned on an amount of what? 500 cedis. Okay. So, okay. It's earned an amount of 500,000 cedis for 3 years. Find the rate of interest. Now let's look here. We need to find, we are finding what rate. So principal and what? We need principal, we need rate. Why don't we have, okay, we don't have rate, then we need time, then we need our interest. Okay, now let's look at the question. Even if you are confused, even if you are confused, okay, and you have two amounts, you see 500,000 and you are seeing 37,500, you are asking yourself, which one is the interest and which one is the principal? People, just look at the one that is bigger. Look at the amounts, the two amounts, which of them is huge or which of them is bigger than the other, because the interest cannot be bigger than the principal. You understand? So just look, 37,500 and 500,000. Which one is bigger? 500,000 is bigger. So definitely 500,000 is the what? The principal. So you come and put your 500,000 here. The rate is what we are finding, right? What is the time? The time is 3 years. Always remember, time is in years. And what is our interest? Our interest is what? 37,500. Now when you come, you are going to generate your formula. We are finding rate, right? So this one will go. So we have interest times 100. All is equal to what? P R T. We want R to stand on this, so I divide through by PT and here to PT. So P go here, T go here. Now our rate is equal to what? I times 100 all over what? PT. Now you start putting in your formula. What is my interest? My interest is 37,500. My interest is 37,500. Then my 100 is constant. Then my principal is what? 500,000. Then what again? Then my time. Then my time is what? 3 years. So when you cancel through, my people, your rate is supposed to be what? 2 over 2.5%. So you see, it's as easy as that. Let me quickly pick question 11. Let me quickly pick question 11. Question 11 says a man invested 500,000 at 5% simple interest per annum for 2 years. For 2 years. Find his what? Calculate the amount at the end of the year. Okay. Now the first thing we have to do, they're giving us the principal, but they've not given us the what? The interest. So we have to find what the interest, because it's the money that he invested that is the what? The principal. So our formula still holds. Principal is what? 500,000. What is rate? Rate is 15%. What is time? 2 years. Over what? 100. If you cancel through, your answer is going to be what? 150,000. Okay. 150,000 is the interest that the man is paying. Have we ended there? No. They said that what is the amount? Do you remember the formula for amount? The amount is what? So you have to come and write it down for me. Amount is equal to what? Principal plus interest. What is the principal in the question? 500,000 cedis. What is my interest? My interest is 150,000 cedis. What is the total amount? 650,000 cedis. Okay, so I picked the last question because of time. Then we are good to go. Now, what does this mean? The man invested 500,000 cedis. The interest he got for the investment is what? 150,000 Ghana cedis for 2 years. Now, at the end of his investment is what? The amount he is going to take home. Okay, when you invest something into something, you have put money into the thing. Okay, so it's the example, he invested 150,000 in the bank. And after 2 years, they tell him that after 2 years, the money he's getting on that 500,000 is what? 150,000. So if after the 2 years, and the man is going back for his money, is he going back for only the 500,000? No. Is he going back for only the 150,000, which was his interest? No. He's going back for what? The 500,000 plus the 150,000, which is what we call the what? The amount. Okay, final question. Let's go to question 15. Kofi paid rent of what? 1,800 cedis each year. If the rent is 0.3 of his annual income, find his annual income. Okay, so that is question 15 for you. Now they say that what? This Kofi guy, he's paying what? 0.3 times his salary, which is what? His rent, which is what? 1,800 cedis. So you are finding his what? His salary. They are telling you that 0.3 on Kofi's salary is his 1,800 cedis. Okay, it's his rent. This is his rent. So they are saying that 0.3 on his salary is his rent. So find his what? His salary. This is very simple, isn't it? So it is what? You write this as what? Fraction. 3/10. What we don't know represented by what? A variable. So times x is equal to what? 1,800 cedis. We want x. So this 3/10 has to go and join this 1,800. And when it joins there, it has crossed the is equal to sign. When a fraction crosses the is equal to sign, it reciprocates. So x is standing on its own here. And we have 1,800 times 10/3. Okay, so now what is our answer? Our answer is what? 6,000 cedis. So at the end of the month, now is taking what? 6,000 cedis. So this is where we are going to end. And I'll see you all tomorrow with our topic on discount. Bye.